Okay. Can you guys hear me clearly?
A little flat.
The sound of the sound is from computer or from the projector? It's from projector. If it's from projector, that's fine. If it's from computer, then maybe it will be too low.
Is that better or is?
Try that. Oh, now it's from the computer.
Yeah. What's better?
The projector is better. Projector is better. Yeah. Yeah. Is it better? Depending on you, not on me. It's you hear the sound. Okay. So first, thanks for like setting these things up. Yeah, and sorry for the potential inconvenience. So this is our first lab of EPSS 8. Sorry, EPSS 1. And I'm your TA. My name is Liu Wei. So I'm currently in France attending an academic meeting. So the first week's lab, this lab 1, will be remotely. So like I give this lecture remotely, but you guys in the classroom and listen to me. For the lab 2, next week, Said, the other TA of this class, will organize the lab section. He will organize the presentation and do the introduction of the lab. And begin from the week 3, lab 3, I will come back to UCLA. So after that, I will give you guys in-person lab in the classroom. So if that's clear, then we can move to the introduction part of today's lab. I record this lab to the cloud, and I will release the recording to the Brewing Learn later. So if you guys cannot hear me clearly, please watch the recordings on the Brewing Learn later. Okay, so first, let's go through the lab syllabus. My name is Liu Wei, and I'm the TA for lab section ABC. So hi, Said.
Yeah, I don't know if he gave you the intro, but
yeah.
okay, cool. All right, go ahead.
Oh, do I sound good, Said?
Yeah. Just wanted to check and make sure laptop's still here, no one's stolen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they helped me to set it up. Yeah. Thanks. Okay, let's continue. So this is my email address, and I have office hours every Thursday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. It will be in person in Geology Building 4691 after I return UCLA on week 3. Before that, I will have on Zoom office hours. So and after that, you can also join remotely by Zoom, of course. We have another TA for this class, Saeed Mohana. His lab section are DEF. This is his email address. He also has office hours on Thursday, but between 1 to 2 p.m. So it's 1 hour earlier than mine. It's in the same location in Geology Building, room 4691, and also offer remote options. The Zoom link is here. You can join any one of them. And since I will come back at week 3 for the first 2 weeks. If you want in-person office hour, please come to Said's one. A brief introduction for myself. I'm currently a fourth-year PhD student studying earthquakes. My research tries to answer the questions like why and how large earthquakes happen and what can we do after these earthquakes. I am working with Professor Linson Mons in the seismology group of UCLA. This is our research website. Another TA, Saeed Mohana, he's also a fourth-year PhD student in the seismology group. So we are in the same research group. His research interests include like imaging tsunami source and imaging earthquake source. He also works with Professor Linson Mons. Then let's go back to the lab. The grading for the lab. So the lab related work is worth 40% of your total class grade. Among them, the lab assignments are 25%, will be 25% of your final grade. And the popular science book presentation will be 15%. For this term, I will talk more details in later slides. First, let's just focus on this part, lab assignment part. These lab assignments are due the following week at the beginning of the class. So you guys are in lab section 1C, and the lab began at 1 p.m. Tuesday. So you will have 1 week to finish the lab assignment. The due date for the assignment will be next Tuesday, 1 p.m. And the penalty for the late submission is totally fine if you are late within 1 day. So within 1 day late, you will not get penalty. If you exceed 1 day, then you will get 10% deducted every 24 hours. So if you submit assignments 1 day after the due date, you will only get 90%. If you submit 2 days late, you only get 80%. And all these lab assignments should be submitted online by Brewing Learn. We will have a link on Brewing Learn for you guys to submit that or upload your files. For the answers of the lab, please do not email TAs unless you get previous permission. But for other things like questions about lab policy, questions about class, questions about like lab, any questions, you can email directly to TA to ask. And then it's lab session format. So this is how we will organize these 2-hour lab sections. We will have 2 parts. Part 1, first is at the beginning of lab, we have 10 minutes to 15 minutes presentation, which introduce the concepts related to this week's lab and give you feedback for the most recently graded lab. For example, if I grade last week's lab, and I find that many of you made mistakes on the same question, I will give you guys feedback and talk about this question in the lab section. This portion will be recorded and will be put on the Brewing Learn at some point before the next lab. And then after part 1, usually we have 1.5 hours left. So this time you can use that to work on the lab exercises or lab assignment. You are expected to use the materials you learned from the lecture, from the readings, and from the short introduction in part 1 to answer the lab questions. Please notice that this part is used, you can use that to work on lab assignment, but you are not expected to finish that within the lab because you have the entire 1 week to finish the lab. The due is next week. So no worries about the time. Feel free to ask questions about the lecture material, the lab assignment, the lab policies during the section. And for the lab assignment, you can also work with classmates. You can discuss with them and work together on the lab assignment. But remember, finally, you will need to submit your own answers. So do not simply copy answers from them. If you have more questions, feel free to attend the office hour and ask more questions. Okay, and the the attendance for the lab, usually we do not take attendance. Safety is our #1 concern. So if you feel sick, if you feel like you get COVID-19 or something else, you can just not come to the lab and stay at home. But if you know that you cannot come to the lab in person, please email your TA in advance so that we can make other arrangement for you to make up the missed labs. Yeah, so you won't be docked points, you won't be penalized for the absent. For switching labs, if you want to switch your lab to another section, for example, now you are in 1C, if you want to switch to 1B, 1A, or 1D, 1E, you need to do that on your MyUCLA system. If you need to switch to another TA section, please email both TAs for the switch. Yeah, and if you only want to switch for once because of some time conflicts, also please email to TAs so that we can make arrangement for you. Some other regular things during the lab, please respect your classmates and TAs, how to deal with emergencies. And for the cheating, please do not do it. Once we find any cheating, we will report that to the dean. And the dean is nice, but I think you guys want to meet him about these things. Okay. Next is the book presentation part. This is like, if you remember the lab policy I mentioned previously, you will have 15% of grade comes from the popular book, science book presentation. So let's take a look at what you need to do for this presentation. First, you need to choose an interesting science book. This book is about science, about earth science. We want it about earth science and planetary science. It's not a textbook, but the scientific book for some like general audience, for people like senior high school students or undergraduate students who want to learn something about earth science. We provide a list of 100 approved options on Brewing Learn assignment. So if you go to Brewing Learn, go modulars, and here book presentation project, click this one, popular science book choice. And on the introduction part, scroll down, you will find a button here, a link here. Open it. It will lead you to a list of book, popular science book list for EPS SCI 1 class. So here we offer 100 options. They are all science book, but they are not for experts. They are for general audience. You can choose either one of them for your read and for your presentation. You can also choose your own book. They cannot be listed in the provided list, but as long as it's appropriate, then you can choose that. the deadline for making the decision is next week's lab. Oh, sorry. Stay. Yeah, the deadline is by the next week. And after you make decision, you are expect to read the book throughout the quarter. And finally, beginning week 8, you need to prepare a slides and prepare a presentation for the book you read, and do the presentation in front of the class. Our presentation time will be week 8, week 9, and week 10. Later, we will send you guys the sign-up sheet for you to choose your time slot. Yeah, so this is for the book presentation. If you don't wish to do the presentation in front of the class, we provide other options. For example, you can instead turn in the presentation slides along with a recording of your presentation, or accompanying 500 words write-up. If you choose that, you can get 95% credit of this presentation part. So remember that before next week's lab, go to Brewing Learn and go to this popular science book choice quizzes. If you enter this quiz, you can see some questions. Question 1 is, what's the title of your first book choice? Question 2 is the author of your first choice book. And question 3 is, please let us know if it's from the provided list or it's found by yourself. And all of you need to decide your first book choice and the second book choice. This is because we have 100 books and we have 30 students in a lab section. We want everyone to choose different books. So you provide your first choice and your second choice and submit the quiz. If someone submit earlier and another one submit late, but their choices are the same, we will let the earlier one get his first choices, and the people submit later can only get his second choices. Sometimes like your first choices and the second choices, they are all picked by others. Then we will email you, we will contact you to inform you like that you need to make your third choice or even fourth choice. So after you submit your quiz, come back to check your points. If you get 5 points, it means that your first choices is approved. You can use your first choice book. If you get 4 points, it means your second choice book is approved. You can use your second choice book. If you get 3 points, it means both your first choice and the second choice, they are both not approved. So you need to make your third choice and fourth choice. If it happens, we will email you, we will contact you to let you know that. Yeah. So no worry about this part. Just remember to finish this quiz before next week's lab. It's the popular science book choice quiz. Oh, and finally, a clarification for this part. Like this 5 points, 4 points, 3 point things are just inform you of the results. It's not the credit. Finally, all of you will get full credit as long as you finish this quiz. Yeah, so finally, your presentation will be 8 minutes, no longer than 8 minutes. And prepare the slides, upload the slides to Brewing Learn before you made your presentation. Okay, the above is for the lab policies part. Then let's move to the actual lab 1. The topic is climate change. So climate change is maybe a very familiar topic to you. You may have heard a lot about that from the news, from the articles in the magazine. And you may know that the average temperature, the temperature level currently is higher than past decades. The reason for this temperature rising is the greenhouse gases. Among these greenhouse gases, the carbon dioxide is the most important one. But this is not the only one. We have other 3 major greenhouse gases. They are methane, nitrous oxide, fluorinated gases. So all these greenhouse gases, they absorb heat from the sunlight, and they release the heat they absorbed very slowly. So they store this heat and make the atmosphere temperature rise up. But these greenhouse gases are actually not bad things. Like if we don't have greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, the Earth's surface temperature would be negative 18 Celsius degree. So these greenhouse gases are actually very important for lives on the Earth. Let's learn more about carbon dioxide. The right figure shows the carbon dioxide level from 800,000 years ago to present. We can see from this slides, this figure, that at 2019, the average CO2 level in the atmosphere is 409.8 ppm. This is a level much higher than past 800,000 years. We can also see many fluctuations during the past periods, and they are because of the ice age and the interglacial periods. Although this level is very high, this level of carbon dioxide, actually it has ever appeared 3 million years ago. So 3 million years ago, CO2 level are very similar to current situation. But at that time, the average temperature was 2 to 3 Celsius higher than pre-industrial level, and the sea level then was 15 to 25 meters higher than today. Another phenomenon very common and related to the atmosphere is the El Nino South Oscillation. Usually we call it ENSO in brief. This extreme climate is usually related with disasters. It occurs every 3 to 5 years and lasts for 9 to 12 months. It appears as the fluctuation in temperature between the ocean and the atmosphere in East Central Equatorial Pacific. When this El Nino occurs, the temperature level on western and northern US, this region will be warmer than average. And at US Gulf coast and Florida, it will be wetter than the average. And at Ohio Valley and the Pacific Northwest, it will be drier than average. Actually, I found a video which explained the reason of El Nino very clearly. The internet on my side is not very good, so like if you want, you can copy this URL to your browser, and you will find this short video introducing the reason for El Nino. Yeah, you can take a look after the class. So above part is for the climate change. And then this one, how to make a plot in Google Sheets. This is to help you answer questions in the quiz. Because in the quiz, we have a question asking you to plot this kind of figure and to see how the temperature and the CO2 change with year. So this data is from modulus, and we have under week 1 lab, we have this CO2 data and the temperature data. You will use them both in the quiz questions. So if you open that, I upload that to my Google Drive, to my Google Sheet, so that I can plot the figure very conveniently. You will find that the first column is the date. The second column is the level of CO2. If I want to make a plot to show how the CO2 level changes with year, I need to select them all. So scroll down to the button, select all, and insert a chart. And then Google Sheet will give me a figure showing how the CO2 change with date. The unit of date is year. And you may also notice that the vertical axis, the data range is all above 300. So I want to zoom in to above 300. What I need to do is go to customize the vertical axis and enter 300 here. And then it will zoom into 300. And then I can I can see the trend more easily. If I move the mouse above this figure, I can even see like the CO2 level at each year. So Google Sheet is very convenient. Yeah, so you will need to make this kind of plot during the in the lab assignment. By the way, if you guys have any question, because the scope of the camera of this laptop is very limited, so I cannot see all of you. If you have questions, any questions, just scan this QR code at the last page of the slides. You can find the slides on Blue Learn. Scan the QR code and it will lead you to a Google Sheet, lab 1 questions. We have questions, so you can write down your questions on the first column, and I will answer your questions after I finish the introduction. Anyway, yeah, that's for the Q&A sheet. Let's go to the Google Earth presentation. This is a presentation you are going to do next week. It's about Google Earth. So what you need to do is first move and talk freely in the classroom, discuss with your classmates, and finally you need to form groups of 4 to 5 people. We have around 30 people in the lab section, so finally we will have about 6 groups. So yeah, first form the group of 4 to 5 people, and then you guys get together and discuss and find a landform you want to present. Prepare a 5-minute presentation, prepare slides and prepare the presentation. On the next week's lab, you will need to present that in front of the lab. So let me show you how you can use the Google Earth. So just search Google Earth in the Google, and the first one, explore Google Earth. You will go to this page. And I can first show you where I am. Like, show your location. If I press that, it will show where are you. So I'm currently at Southeast France, so it shows me here. And then choose your landform from Google Earth. You can like rotate the Earth very smoothly. If I am asked to do this task, I would, because I'm from China, so I would like to choose a landform from China. I would choose the Tibet Plateau. This is a very famous highland in China. Its elevation is much higher than its surrounding regions, and it has many mountains and highlands. We have many research published about this Tibet, but you can choose anywhere globally. For example, if you like ocean, you can choose the Change. If you like island, you can choose the Hawaii Island chain. Or if you like the canyon, you can choose the Grand Canyon. If you like the San Andreas Fort, you can also choose the fort. Yeah, anywhere is fine. And after you form the group and you decide your landforms, here we have a sign up sheet, Lab C. You guys are Lab C. So copy the link and enter the browser. You guys will go to Lab 1C Google Earth presentation. So this is for you to fill your names. You can fill in anywhere blank. For example, you choose group 1, write down all the group members' names and the landform you choose. The email is optional. It's just for the convenience of contacting. If your group members want to contact you for some discussion, they can find your email here. And also, I write some suggestions for the things you can talk about. For example, you can talk about how was this site formed, when this site was formed, and what type of rocks materials it's made of, and the formation history, and why this landform is important. Any questions like this? Yeah, so this is for the Google Earth presentation. You guys discuss and prepare the presentation in this week. Next lab section, you guys will do this presentation. And a reminder for the deadlines next week. First, you have Lab 1 assignment. It's about climate change. It's here, modulars. And under week 1 lab, climate change. So this is your lab assignment for the first week. We made it as quiz, but actually you can try multiple times. You can submit it again and no time limit, just before the due date. We will use your final submission to grade that and give you credit. And the Google Earth presentation, form the group and fill the sign-up sheet and prepare the presentation, do the presentation at next week. And also remember to make the popular science book choice. It's also I think it's also a quiz. Yeah, it's a popular science book choice quiz here. Remember to take this quiz before the next lab, and we will give you feedback after the deadline. Yeah. So for the rest of time, can feel free to discuss with your classmates about the Google Earth presentation. And again, if you have questions, scan this code, go to the questionnaire, Lab 1 questionnaire, and I will give you answers.
Over here.